Hey there, comic book friends. I'm Travis, and it's Comic Book Roundtable. Yeah, exciting stuff. So tonight we actually have a full table. Get more than this, and we're walking on each other or talking over each other. So pretty excited. Right off the bat, we'll start. Jen is back. Happy to have Jen back. It's
Hey
been
guys.
it's been quite a while. So good to have you back. Talk some comics. And also we have Rez Reeds. How's it going, Rez?
Good, good, good.
And of course, Mike Sergeant America with occasional Private Peanut gurgling in the background somewhere.
Yes, yeah. I'm still busy digging out, so I was hoping for Rez to send me some sunshine.
No, pour your snow. I mean, it's actually getting decent here now, so that's no concern for me. Okay, yeah, said a whole bunch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Alrighty, so we flipped the three-sided coin. It came up DC, so we decided we're going to talk DC first. What do we want to talk DC wise today?
I have Cave Carson, but
Cave Carson? Let's talk Cave Carson. So everybody took their comic and cut out the lines and folded it into a die, right? Y'all chopped your comic up and yeah, no.
Yep.
Well, so I read the comic thinking, hey, somewhere in here there's going to be a reason to have a dice. And there wasn't. So I was kind of disappointed. So I'm glad I didn't cut my cover up. Anyway, what do we think of Cave Carson? Cave Carson has a Interstellar Eye, #2.
This for me, this issue was it was a little bit better than last issue for me. It wasn't I was kind of glad I didn't focus so much on this very non-important character. What's this guy's name?
Star? Are you talking about the rock and roller guy that they
No.
Oh,
No,
the
in
dentist.
Yeah, the one that he saw. He told shut up when he was giving him information about the interstellar eye possibly imploding if it comes into contact with
Mark.
Yeah. I'm glad I didn't focus so much on him this time. It was more so about this other dimension and other characters. I'm kind of glad it was more so about the shenanigans they're getting into. I liked that. So it kind of felt like the old Cave Carson has a cybernetic eye kind of comic that we used to have.
Mm-hmm.
I like that. This kind of felt like that. So I had a really nice little moment where we had Chloe kind of talking about her how she felt like her dad needed her, and that's why she left her princess-esque kind of world, found out that she was princess, and because she kind of somewhat fell in love with this guy, and she realized the princess world wasn't for her, the princess life wasn't for her. I liked that little moment. It was kind of sweet and endearing. I like that moment. It was really cute. It was a good issue. Very, 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 it was endearing. Way more so than last issue. Last issue just had different tonal beats than this one for me. So.
Yeah. Jen, what did you think of it?
I thought it was all right. I'm still not as crazy about it as I used to be, I think.
Right. So you collected the last run of it, right? When it was
yeah.
Cybernetic
I keep all the Young Animal books.
Right.
So.
For me, it continues. The art is what saves the book.
Yeah.
I enjoy Omin's artwork. The eye candy that it is why I enjoy the book the most. I agree. I thought this issue was better than last issue, and if nothing else, this issue felt focused a little more. It wasn't just kind of a trip down memory lane. I mean, there's something happening. There's these two, races. They're kind of going after each other. I guess there's the curiosity of the fact that Cave Carson looks like the person who's responsible for them living the lives that they live. But it feels to me it feels unfocused, whereas the cybernetic eye one felt like it had a focus. I mean, you know, starts out with him, he's, you know, him coming out of his funk, you know, of his wife having passed away and him not really having a vision and being forced into something. Whereas this, I don't know why. Why are they traveling? Why are they riding along inside of the cybernetic eye in a pocket dimension? Why are they doing that? We don't really have a just because we don't really have a reason why they're doing it. So that kind of feels unmoored. It just kind of in a drift. And so it leaves some larger questions that I don't know why what's going on is going on, other than just for the sake of why not, I guess.
Well,
I haven't missed something when it comes to that, right? I mean,
the whole Milk War thing where the eye was traveling around for some odd reason, wasn't that still?
But I thought that was done. So is this still the leftover of that? They can't find their way home, or are they?
So I mean, I was under the impression that there was some reason for that, maybe.
Because I got the impression from Chloe talking was like, oh, she had been living down, you know, in the underworld, living the princess life, and decided she didn't like it, and she wanted to go on adventures with her dad, which would lead me to believe that this is well after the Milk Wars, and they've kind of gone back to living their lives or whatever.
Yeah, I thought the princess life was only very, very extreme short time. I didn't.
Oh, okay.
I didn't see that princess life lasting that long. I mean, from what I experienced from the Kate Carson series, that couldn't have lasted that long.
Well, but I thought there was a gap between. That's what I'm saying is there's a gap between runs. I thought that a period of time had passed.
Though, I mean, it didn't seem. I don't know.
Then I guess I didn't think that she could have been princess long enough to be tired of the princess life. Then.
Well, I mean, I'm confused too because I mean, to me, we all read the same series, and I don't see what princess life she was talking about.
That's why I assume, which he talks about it here. That's why I assume between cybernetic eye and interstellar eye, there clearly must have been some time had passed, you know, and regardless of the Milk Wars, that some period of time had passed for her to.
She said it. She said it was short. She realized very short time. She said it in her wording. It was very short of a time.
I guess you're right.
Realized that she was a princess just not too long ago. So in my mind, that was her wording was in just there. Hey, I just found out I was not too long ago. That says it in itself.
Yeah,
you know?
You're right. I want the book to be more. I love the art. It was the first run of it was fun. The art for me continues to be fun, but I feel it's lacking in direction and focus. I guess is where I'm at with it. Yeah. What else? What other DC books we want to talk? I've got all kinds of silly Batman I could talk about. And
I wish I had read Batman this week, but I didn't have the energy.
So yeah, Batman 45.
Yeah.
This wouldn't have been a book to get on. You know, as far as the whole marriage and Batman and Catwoman thing that's going on that I have found intriguing. This I didn't at all.
This is kind of like a filler almost for me. And it's at a weird place to have filler, in my opinion. But
right, I mean, it's almost like, okay, we're gonna throw this little bit of story in just to, like you said, filler, just to take up time while other creators are getting caught up on scripts or something. I don't know.
I didn't think it made a whole lot of sense to me. Booster Gold's kind of a funny character, but I didn't see him doing this, so I was really confused about that, like why he would mess with the time. Because isn't he like a time master? He wants to preserve the timeline, right? So maybe he used some other kind of artifact and he didn't actually mess up things? Or what do you think?
Well, that's just it. I don't know if he's messed up time or he's in the wrong place or this isn't even the right.
And he obviously did it on purpose. He's giving, Bruce Wayne a life that his parents never died.
Right.
He mentions, what happened with Superman when he had that flower being attached to him and he had his...
Right, the Black Mercy, right? That classic annual, right?
Yeah. So I don't know. I'm a little confused. Just I thought it was funny when they compared Booster Gold to the Kite Man of the Justice League.
Yes, that's the best line in the book.
Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah. Otherwise, I don't see the value in it. I guess it's a what if story. What if Bruce Wayne hadn't lost his
I just don't get it.
parents. And there's the whole militant. Why is Dick this militant Batman? With all the guns and stuff.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't see how this is a gift, like a wedding gift. It makes no sense to me whatsoever.
Well, I mean, I get it in the sense that, wouldn't it be nice if Batman's parents were alive to see him get married and whatnot? That would be great, right? But come on. I mean, Booster Gold's a knucklehead, but he's not so much of a knucklehead that he would not grasp how messed up that makes things, because it is a fundamental reason as to why, one of the reasons why that Batman is the way he is.
Yeah, I mean, Batman's a completely different person, so he's not marrying Catwoman. In my reading of it, he's kind of just this jerk, you know what I mean? Rich guy that never had,
right.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I didn't like it.
Neither did I. Yeah, I didn't care for either, and I've been enjoying it up to this point. This was kind of senseless.
Hal thing at the beginning. Hal Jordan.
Well, so there's the Joker. There's some sort of Joker threat going on, and any superhero that comes into Gotham gets taken over, and basically either commits a violent act or
Jokers then, and he just
right. Yeah, he suicided himself because he was taking over the Joker, and that's why when the Batman from here, the Dick Grayson armored up, carrying 1,000 guns, is trying to kill Booster Gold, because he's going to kill Booster Gold before Joker gets a hold of him, because then he's a bigger threat if the Joker gets a hold of him.
Mm-hmm.
You get this paramilitary Batman.
It's like Thomas Wayne Batman, you know what I mean? That's what I felt.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe it'll go somewhere better than this first issue.
I mean, I do appreciate as a lover of all things Hal Jordan, seeing him off himself in the first 2 pages. That I have to admit that that doesn't hurt my feelings any, because
oh gosh.
I mean, the only thing that would make this better is if they had Tim Drake getting whacked too, and then this book would be like a 10 out of 10. It'd be the best book there is. But
it was kind of funny that Jason Todd sold fires.
Yes.
Yeah. That was pretty funny too.
Yeah, but
you love him.
Yeah, oh yeah. But like I said, though, I mean, for me, the book didn't have a lot of value. This is a huge letdown from what we've gotten in the last, I don't know, 6 or so issues. This was just kind of
last issue was so much better, and this one was just a huge letdown. I agree.
Yeah. Boo. I read Batman Creatures of the Night. Book 3 finally came out of this thing. I mean, it's all right. I mean, it's curious. The story basically is this kid whose name is Bruce Wayne spelled differently, supposedly lives in what would be our world. His parents are murdered. So he identifies with Batman and Bruce Wayne. As an adult, he's got like this ability, or there's this creature. In this issue, it explores the fact that there's this phantom Batman that goes around and actually beats people up and stops crime and all that. And in this issue, it seems to be, he thinks that we find out that he had a twin named Thomas, and that twin died at birth. And so he thinks that this thing is Thomas, is the ghost of his brother, of his twin brother. He's clearly not crazy, because in this, it shows the Batman creature like scooping up Gordon. There's a Gordon in this book, and some stuff goes on in it and whatnot. It's all right. I mean, it's a curious read. just like a different look at Batman and how Batman operates. But I don't know. I'm not blown away by it. I mean, I love the Leon art. The John Paul Leon art is great in it as always. But conceptually, it's like I don't know that I needed 4 prestige format books to explore this, but he gets used in this one, and so now he's kind of turned into a violent monster Batman by the end of it, because he kind of gets his Commissioner Gordon isn't like the Commissioner Gordon from the books. He ends up not being a good guy. He's on the take, and it kind of really throws him into a spiral, because the guy Bruce just wants to make the world a better place. He is rich. He's not like Batman. He's not like Bruce Wayne from the comic books rich, but he is rich. He's working very hard to make the world a better place, and now he's realizing that the world just sucks and people suck, and so now he's kind of ugly and violent and whatnot. But and the last of my Bat books, just to get it out of the way, Batwoman, issue number 14.
Is it getting any better? Or?
I'm really enjoying it. So she's gone back to Gotham. Her ex-lover from the year that she kind of fell off the map, kind of thing. Her like right-hand man is behind a lot of the stuff that's going on. She has manipulated the many hands of death. She's just kind of used all this stuff, acted like she was a tool for them, but she's actually using them. She abducts Kate Kane's sister, Beth, and basically reintroduces her to being Alice, who, of course, if you've read the Greg Rucka stuff and whatnot, you know that she's kind of a homicidal maniac. So she's basically brought her back to being that. She's created some sort of a lethal virus. It's like a mix of like everything you can think of, from syphilis to the bubonic plague, and it's put it in a bunch of bats and released the bats across Gotham, kind of a thing. And so she's got, Batwoman's immune to it. Nobody else is immune to it. And Batwoman, by the end of the issue, is realizing, well, the upside is if I'm immune to it, that means I potentially carry the cure. So I don't know what the next issue is going to be as far as dealing with that. But the Blanco art is really good in it. I'm enjoying it. I mean, I keep hearing rumors that the book is done. That once this arc is over with and Bennett's off the book, that there isn't going to be a book anymore. But I don't know that for sure.
Why do you think that is?
I don't know that it's got the sales. I mean, there's those of us who really love the character, but I know people who love the character and started to get the book and then dropped it. They didn't make it past the first arc to get, Tinian off the book. I mean, part of the problem is there's I can see more and more of Bennett in the book, her ideas and stuff, but she is still working with a skeleton that was given to her by Scott Snyder via Tiny in the Fourth. So I don't think yet she's really gotten to take the character where she just might want to take the character.
Yeah.
And I'm kind of hoping it gets to that. And I'd feel like after this arc, that's going to be the case, because she's going to be either defeated or she's going to bury a lot of ghosts and clear out a lot of closets by the time this arc is done, the fall of the House of Kane. So I hope it's around, but I don't know. It's not like a mind-blowing comic, but I enjoy it as far as just being a kind of a Batman-ish type superhero book. And I like the character, so and I think they do the character well. So what else do I want to talk DC wise?
So we were talking Batman. Do we want to talk about how Batman kills babies?
Yes, let's talk about Batman killing babies. Mr. Miracle, issue number 8. I'm just gonna say right off the top, I actually like 8 better than 7. I know a lot of people are like, "Oh my God, 7, the birth issue is like the best comic ever, and there'll never be anything better."
So good.
Yeah. So what do you think, Mike?
Perfect balance of showing parenthood and work and how the two parts fit together. And I thought that's why I love this issue. And I'm guessing that's probably why you love this issue too.
Yeah. That struggle. That struggle. And of course, in the case of Scott, the struggle is like a lot worse because of course he literally has a war going on. He's, he's off. Yeah.
Hardcore.
Yeah. He's off murdering people and then and having conversations with Barda, who's home playing Goo Goo Gaga with the with the kid.
Well, the even better parts are, when Barda is out fighting and he's trying to raise the child, he's like, with limited skills and, showing all the tricks and the struggle of making the baby go to sleep. And they're just talking on the two-way boom communicator that, do the cheat, put him in the car seat. We know what that's like. You just want, Funky's involvement, I thought was also a good addition and twist, with being the comic relief and idiot in a lot of that.
Yeah. There's our introduction to Batman, and then Batman kills, because of course Scott is saying that he's read lots of stuff that says you're not supposed to leave anything in the crib with your child because of the whole sudden
infant death syndrome.
Infant death syndrome. And of course he puts the kid down, and of course the kid immediately starts, chewing on Batman, and it's as cute as could be, of course.
Battle that Barda agrees to, but she can't make it because she has a doctor's appointment. Scott's like, well, maybe I'll go on the appointment. And she's like, what do you know about my breast, Scott? And he's
right.
Like, I'll fight the fight. Okay.
Yeah, that was hilarious. That was funny.
Yeah.
When we see the clone creature, it has maybe a baby of its own, and they're trying to figure out if they have babies.
Yeah. And he's a bit hesitant. He's like, "Oh, wait," as Light Ray just nukes the thing. Yeah.
So, the entire involvement, the minor times that we have, right at the very end that Barda and him can kind of catch up together. I just love the entire arc. It showed a great balance between two adult parents trying to raise a child, trying to do this work. The fact that it's part of a battle makes it even funnier. And the extra characters, I thought, just really filled out the rest of this issue.
Well, but the whole parenting thing is fun, and especially for those of us who are parents, you have kids. There's just a lot of this in here you can relate with. I mean, obviously, but there is this whole kind of really serious thing going on. I mean, there's some humor in the fact that he's off the war or whatever, but there's intense moments of pain here. Like he is like grimacing as they're putting his leg back together again while Barda's rattling off this stuff, and he's trying to pay attention to it. But clearly, the whole where they dig a giant trench and they're burying the equivalent of, like, I don't know, millions of bodies in the trench and whatnot is seriously grim stuff. And Light Ray's going, this is not how we do this. And he's like, look, I'm High Father. This is what we got to do right now. We need to move on. There's some ugliness in it. And, those occasional weird panels that we get, the kind of the shaky camera wobble thing. The dark side is. We only get one panel of dark side is in this issue, but I don't know. As much as I love all the parenting stuff, there's this thing in the back of my head that says something really, really bad is going to happen. And so I'm trying not to get attached to the whole situation, because I love it. I mean, I love the end of it where they're both sitting there and they get the parents get me time and whatnot. Because I love these two characters, and this book just makes me love them that much more.
His discussion on the park bench with the lady, that's what started getting me weird, where she's like, you get caught up in this whole thing. And that's what makes me worry, if he does not have this child, if this is all in his mind, whether if it's the dark side, the life equation, or because he killed himself and he's trying to come back to life. Either way, if they wipe out a whole bunch of this, that's going to be a heart tug.
Yeah. Just an excellent book, though. I mean, these two guys, these two creators are so on top of the game right now to visually and the economy of words. I like Tom King's economy of words, not getting preachy, he doesn't have to. He allows people to have normal conversations with broken sentences that aren't completed and just trailed off thoughts. And and all that kind of stuff that I just really, really love. And then there's the little stuff, like the fact that he's heating up the milk, heating up the water to heat up the milk. And the cup that he's using is I am God, right? Because that kind of harkens back to like the first issue where he's, where the kid's doing the coloring or whatever, and about the God stuff and whatnot. I don't know. This is something I know I'm going to be going back and rereading multiple times, especially when it's all done, because I feel like there's stuff that's being slipped in that I look at and I go, I think that's probably going to be something, but then I forget about it after a while and I don't know, kind of a thing. So I'm excited for all of that, but I don't know. It's top notch stuff.
Excelsior.
Yes, it just continues for me to think that when this is done, whatever these guys are doing next, I've already pre-ordered it. Right. You know what I mean? It's between Sheriff of Babylon and this, I'm just, whatever. It doesn't matter what it's going to be. I'm on board for it. So, and as a side note, even if you don't know at this point, I think even if you don't know the new gods stuff, there's enough comic there to get and enjoy, completely outside of that. So. Any other DC books you want to talk about? Sergeant Peanut.
Oh my goodness, she's so cute. Love her. Look at her.
My last one then would be Aquaman, real quick. Of course, the flagship character, the real man of the Trinity, Aquaman. I mean, this is his week. We all know it. He continues to fight for Atlantis. The mutated people of the Ninth Ward have risen up, and King Wrath has had to use evil Atlantean magic to. I just realized I had to check see if my mic was on. To make sure that the king has used dark magic to fight Aquaman and all these people, and so now he's transforming all of his subjects to look like the king sharks and all these other creatures. So it's been really good. I do know a lot of people are sick of the Aquaman idea of fighting for Atlantis. I jumped in. It's been a while. So I'm glad to read this arc. Raka is doing the artwork on this, so it's a beautiful artwork again in here. He did the pencils, the art, or the inks and everything was someone else. But I'm just loving it. I mean, this is what I was picking it up for. These kind of fights, this kind of work. So I'm definitely enjoying it. This is the Aquaman book I wanted. We wanted.
Right on.
I feel like they're making Aquaman look more and more like what's his name, Momoa, Jason Momoa on these covers. Don't you feel like that?
Yes and no. I mean, he's looking more like long-haired, hooked, bearded Aquaman from back in the day. I mean, if they make him a brunette, then I would say yes. I mean, if he's no longer a blonde, then clearly they're going for the movie grab as far as that goes. But yeah, he sported a beard and longer hair for a while, which I always thought was cool. But yeah, it doesn't hurt that the actor that's playing him in the movies is pretty buff and whatnot too. So
and beards are always sexy. So every superhero will have them this year.
Could always hope. Okay. Let's see. I read Superman.
I also read Superman.
So is this the end of Tomasi and Gleason's run? Was this their...
I think there may be like another special or something after this, but this is the end of their run, pretty much.
Yeah. And clearly that's what it was. It was a send-off. It was a work. Change is coming and change is good. To let us readers know that it's okay. We don't need to burn down the house because these guys are leaving the book and someone else is taking over.
Yeah, right? I mean, it was a great issue. I loved it.
Yeah.
And it was kind of similar to what went on in Action 1000.
And see, right. And I didn't pick up Action 1000. People are like, "Oh, you didn't pick up Action 1000," because I mean, it's it's a key issue, right? Because it's 1,000, it's a big deal, and whatnot. I wasn't, I just wasn't really excited for it. I guess
really feel like you would need to pick it up, Travis. I mean,
I will at some point, somewhere. It's going to be sitting.
Superman fan to begin with, even though I love Tomasi and Gleason's run, it's not a typical book for me to pick up.
Yeah.
But
so
I did enjoy it, yeah. I'm going to talk about Bendis in a little bit. Go ahead.
Right. Well, that's kind of what I want to get to, because I've enjoyed this run as a whole. I mean, there've been moments where it's been like, yeah, okay, whatever. But as a whole, I like it. I mean, and this book epitomized largely what I liked about the run. Tomasi and Gleason do a very good job of capturing family life, kids and adults. I mean, because they did it in their Batman and Robin run. That was some of the best stuff about it, was the relationship between Damian and Bruce, and these people's, the Clark's relationship is completely different. I mean, other than being parents and kids, totally different, kind of relationship. But they still just do a great job. I mean, I'm so invested in these characters, in this, in this kind of environment. So I'm sad to see that go, because I know the next stuff is not going to be that. The next creators are going to run with the book in their own way, and that's fine. I'm happy to have gotten the 45 issues that I got of this. That was largely, like I said, what I was excited for once I started reading it and realized that there's this, cool relationship thing going on. So I've enjoyed that. I'm a bit bummed because it feels like they've dismantled the entire Superman universe is going to get turned on its head and started over again. So they kind of imply that John's going to be around Superboy. But is he gonna really be? I love the kid. I mean, Super Sons is going away soon. I don't know if there's really a replacement. I mean, they've announced a new Teen Titans book. John is not in it. Damian's in it, but John's not in it. So is that character just kind of gonna fall by the wayside and disappear? Because I think that's a crime. Because he's a great young superhero. I mean, he embodies what his dad represents, but he's still learning. And so I like that. So yeah, like I said, I like this. I'm sad to see it go. And after seeing one of Jen's tweets, I am now more morbidly curious as to how long I'll be able to survive the next run of Superman. So
yeah, so I guess I'll go ahead and talk this. It had some really good stories in it. I like Tom King's story. I even like Dan Jurgen's story. It was very touching, and Gleason and Tomasi did a story in here which was cool. A lot of it just kind of touched on kind of who Superman is and how other people in the world are affected by him, or just different milestones that Superman had gone through and whatnot. It was cool. And then there's a story in there about the car from Action Comics #1, I guess. And I thought that was kind of neat. They were all different, but they all were pretty good at narrowing in on something that was very Superman. Except for me, the last story, which is by Bendis, and it reminded me of the worst parts of Man of Steel. The dialogue was atrocious. There was 3 pages about the red underwear. These 2 women who had dialogue that never would happen in any reality. I don't care what. But Superman has been attacked by some alien monster, big bad, and he's knocked unconscious. And the women are trying to pull him to safety. And the whole time, you remember the part in Man of Steel where there's an army chick who's talking about how hot Superman is?
Yeah.
It was just really out of place and uncomfortable. I hated that part of Man of Steel. Well, there's like a moment of that in Bendis' story where she's talking about, where is it? Okay, it says he doesn't look like Superman. All right, they're talking about the stupid red underpants like over and over. That one girl goes, he doesn't look like Superman without the shorts. And then the other girl goes, I don't get past his eyes. And then she's like, he'll hear you. And she goes, that I like his eyes? I'm somewhat okay with that. Without the shorts, it's just not him. Who talks like that? I don't know. It's horrible. The villain is horrible. I mean, it's this big random monster guy who apparently is the one who destroyed Krypton and killed all the Kryptonians. Not the way that
Really
I remember it. So it seems like a possible retcon here. I don't know. And another thing that's been bugging me lately is a little bit, I think like editorials really the editors are like messing up on the job. Last week I picked up Batgirl and the Birds of Prey, and there were speech bubbles that were going to the wrong person.
oh.
And here he calls Supergirl his cousin's sister. It's like, which is it? You know, I mean, I know it's his cousin, not his sister, but does Bendis not know? It was really awkward. You should know if she's cousin or sister, I think. I don't know. So he's trying to, this creature's come to cleanse all the Kryptonians from the world. He's going to get rid of Supergirl and Superman to finish the job he started back on Krypton, I guess. I don't know. And it was really out of place because it's like all these other people are talking about how Superman is and everything. And it's kind of like his past and more what he's doing now. And so you would think we'd be looking into the future of how Superman's going to be, right? In the Superman book, instead of giving us some origin story beginning. So it's basically,
well, but he's also writing that. He's writing that Man of Steel, like 4 or 6 issue, kind of a retelling of
right, but
through Bendis' eyes of his existence. Yeah.
Well, really out of place in the book. I guess that's what I'm saying. Like, it
Because
didn't.
the rest of the book is celebratory. The rest of the book is celebratory of Superman, and then they use the end of the book to launch
That
the
kid.
Bendis storyline.
Superman doesn't do anything other than like when he does come back from consciousness, he says like a few lines that are maybe, you know, you get some semblance maybe of Superman.
Right.
But I mean, who wants to have a celebratory book and then watch Superman get his ass kicked? I don't know.
Right.
It didn't do anything for me at all. It didn't make me want to read Bendis' runs, which is sad because you remember at Emerald City Comic Con when I saw Bendis talk about his Superman book, he was so passionate, and I was actually like, okay, I'm going to give it a try. And then
Right.
I saw this, and there was nothing in it that I don't know.
Yeah.
So
I'm looking over the comments, and Ryan C is saying that he's saying that they're saving John Superboy for the forthcoming Injustice book. I don't know about that. And then he also says, Ryan C says that the first major plot line of Bendis' run is the search for Lois and John. So they're going to be out. They're going to be disappeared out of the book for a while. So the elements I like about the book are, like I said, have been completely pulled away, which I'm not surprised by. Bendis is going to do his own thing. That's kind of the whole point, whatnot. I see that Indigo Vern is saying that, what's the bias against Bendis about? He's asking Ryan that specifically, but just as a general, I have mixed personally. My personal experience with Bendis is mixed feelings. He has written stuff that I love to death, and he has written stuff that I kind of want to stab myself in the head while I'm reading it. The stuff that I like is like his deep dive into Daredevil. I enjoyed his stuff on Moon Knight. Those kinds of things. Me personally, I'm picking up the Superman book. That's the only title I'm picking up is just Superman because that's the one I've stuck with. I'm going to pick it up for a little bit with Bendis on it, out of curiosity and to 100% try it, so I don't feel so bad when I hate it. I can feel justified because I paid money to tear it apart. Because to me, I just think that Superman's a larger than life-ish kind of a thing that I don't think matches with what I enjoy of Bendis writing. I read Powers back in the day. I loved that book, but it was the quiet stuff about the book that made it interesting, not the big grand. And Superman is the big grand, so I don't know.
I wouldn't say that I'm biased against Bendis because I've never really read Bendis. So basically, I was going to pick it up to see what it was like. So that's just what I'm taking away from what I've read of Bendis. There's just not a lot, And hopefully, maybe in the Superman book, maybe we'll get a different version of things than this origin story that he wants to tell, or whatever.
Right, because there's three things. Yeah.
Don't know.
Because there's three things
if
going on.
I would love to pick it up, and I kind of like what he had to say about maybe he'll do better as Clark. If we had like a Clark-centric book and reporter and things like that, maybe that could be interesting to me.
Yeah. Carlos is saying that the Lois and John Gone is part of the plot for the Man of Steel 6-issue miniseries, that we don't really know what the plot's going to be for Action Comics and for Superman. And I'm curious as to how he's juggling through. I mean, I get the 6-issue miniseries. That's a focus on something in particular. How is DC and him going to balance the two other Superman books without it just feeling like we're reading, two of the same story or something like that? That's my other concern with the same creator working everything.
He had to write both books.
Because he's Bendis, and Bendis has created lots of great stuff over time, but at the same time, I'm not high on the dude. And after seeing 1,000 ads, maybe because I read too many DC books of Bendis coming, I'm a cynical jerk. I'm less excited because I'm sick to death of seeing it. To be honest, those ads, it's like, oh my god, please stop.
So, it's almost like it's threatening now. Like
yes. Yeah. Anyway.
Oh wow. All right.
Yep. Anyway, Super Sons, I continue to love it. Issue 15. I think there's one more issue of it left. Right? I think there's one more issue.
Really don't. I don't know. But
I love these two kids together. I mean, I miss George Ramirez doing the art. Man, when he did the first part of the art was brilliant, and clearly that's why they moved him on to bigger books, because he's going to do Superman proper, because he is as brilliant as he is as an artist. But I love these two kids together, both as superheroes and just as buds, trying to figure out their stuff. They play well against each other. They're not the stereotypical odd couple, but at the same time they kind of are. I like all those aspects and get a real kick out of it. So.
I really like this book too, and I like how their voices are. They're different, but they're, I don't know, it's engaging and fun and great working together. Whereas in my Nightwing book, theoretically it should be good. You know what I mean? You got Arsenal in the book. You got Robin and Nightwing, and they're kind of all. Nightwing wants the night off, basically, so he's going to Netflix and chill, but apparently he doesn't know what that means. So he's like trying to spend just one night alone and do whatever he wants to do, and Robin calls him up and says, I need your help. And so he's trying to blow him off, and while he's doing that, he's getting text messages from Arsenal saying, I need your help and stuff. So he ends up going, and basically they both show up at the same place. And Arsenal had been following some weapon thing, and Cheshire's in the book and everything. But there's like, I don't know, the last book before this, these are filler issues, I think, because I think Ben Percy's going to come on the book next.
Yes.
And the last one was kind of fun because it also had Damian in it. And I really like the brother aspect between Nightwing and Damian. And I wish that it was as fun as Super Sons and the relationships we have here, because I would love a book like that, or even a book about like the brother sistership between all of the Bat kids. You know what I mean? I think that would be a cool, interesting book. But this, I don't know. It was almost fun, but not quite. And it just kind of missed a bit. I don't know. But I mean, the banter between Arsenal and Roy and Damien was kind of fun at times. And then at the end, Roy's like, we should do this again. We should, maybe all team up together. And Damien's like, no, not a chance. It was kind of funny. He's like, we don't have to have a name or anything. We could just, hang out. But Damien is not down with it.
Oh no, oil and water. Damien and Roy, oil and water. Yeah, yeah. Roy Arsenal's anything but professional. Of course, Damien wants everything to be, by the book kind of stuff.
That is annoying. I don't know. It seems like in the Batman book and in the Nightwing book, sometimes it just feels like characters are more stupid than they should be.
Mm.
And that was the case, with Roy here. He asked, like, he didn't know the meaning of subterfuge or something like that. And yet he was talking about, the specifics of this weapon that it just, I don't know.
Yeah, making the characters dumb to fit your plot. Yeah.
Right. No, I was making them dumb just to make a joke. You know what I mean? And it just doesn't. Don't do that.
Right. Alrighty. Any other DC books we want to talk about?
I think that might be all my DC books.
So Carlos is saying that the Action Comics of Superman will focus on different aspects. One's more action driven and one is more Metropolis driven.
Yeah, and that might be the case. The Action Comics book, you know what I mean? Because it felt like maybe a 12-year-old kid would have really loved that Bendis story at the beginning. Like a young boy or girl or whatever who just wanted action. And that's kind of what it felt like to me. It was just an action thing. So maybe if you're more into that.
Well, I'm the more we talk, the more I'm regretting I ordered the first issue. So
I think, but if the one is more Metropolis, that's the one I would check out,
Right. Right. Yeah. Alrighty. So, DC type news. The
Blackhawks movie?
Oh, yes. Steven Spielberg is going to do a Blackhawks movie, right?
Yes. Oh. Yep. Live action. Yep.
Why?
I'm asking the same thing.
Well, he likes World War II kind of things, doesn't he? Wasn't that what Blackhawks were based around?
Yes. Yeah. I mean, they're kind of like fighter pilots and beat up Germans and all kinds of stuff. Yeah.
And is it a mixture of the Blackhawks are all just traditional? Well, I shouldn't say traditional. They're humans that can fly, but there will be some supernatural or meta effects because don't they interact with the DC heroes, don't they?
Well, they do when they force them to. The original book was just kind of like it was like the equivalent of Sergeant Rock. It's not. Right. Do you know what I mean? Stereotypically, Sergeant Rock in his own books isn't running around with Haunted Tank unless somebody chooses to write a story and mix those things together. My understanding is that the traditional Blackhawks were just they were just a special branch, basically, kind of a thing. So
okay, all right.
And he's producing, he's not directing. I'm being corrected by Jocko that it's produced, not directed. So anyway, I don't know. Whatever. I don't have a beef with that one way or the other as far as, to to be excited about it or not. It just seems odd. It seems like an odd, if you're gonna grab a DC franchise, that just seems odd to me. But
well, maybe that's it. Maybe this is just the first step before you get into Sergeant Rock and the Easy Patrol. So, and then Haunted Tank. Yep, I could see that all together. Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, just building towards Haunted Tank. That's the whole idea.
I'm all for that.
Yep.
That wouldn't fly. Haunted Tank, they'd have to change a lot about Haunted Tank. Because I don't think it would go over. I don't think a
Civil War general.
I don't think a Southern Civil War general in a Haunted Tank is going to go over very well. You know, the spirit of the equivalent of Robert E. Lee in a tank. They'd have to change some of that stuff, I think. At least I hope they would. So we're not still celebrating the people who lost. At any rate. Any other DC news?
I saw some rumors earlier. So
are we talking the stuff off of the website we won't name?
I think it came from there. Anyway, something about like Kelly Sue DeConnick going on an Aquaman book, which I thought she was going to do some sort of Wonder Woman.
She's doing Amazons. Yeah, she's doing Amazons on the Black Label, right? But I saw people were tossing around Twitter, DC's Fresh Start, they were calling it, and they were listing all kinds of crazy
I didn't actually go read it. I just saw something about Kelly Sue doing Aquaman and what else? I don't remember. It was maybe a Green Lantern book with what's his name?
Yeah, I'm drawing a blank now too, but it seemed odd that whatever it was that was doing it was kind of a strange pick. I remember seeing that. I don't remember, but for me personally, that stuff's way on the fringe of rumors that I have a hard time envisioning Kelly Sue doing Aquaman, her wanting to do Aquaman, DC coming to her and say, "Gosh, we'd really like you to pitch us Aquaman." Just seems so bizarre to me.
All around, and I thought she was doing more stuff for television, because I haven't seen her do Bitch Planet in a while, which I would love.
She's supposedly working on it, but she's having a hard time with it, I guess. So I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. It was weird.
Yeah. Huh. Alrighty. Well, let's move on to Marvel. Let's quickly talk some Marvel books. I think it's going to be relatively quick as a whole. Mike, what do you got?
I have Tales featuring Hawkeye and the Winter Soldier. This is part 5 of 5, Red Ledger, issue 104 of Legacy. Like I've continuously said, this is a buddy movie kind of thing. It's been really nice. I really loved it. This one is just definitely getting funnier and funnier, and it's got Natasha has blown up in the Red Room facility that she had in America. Hawkeye and Winter Soldier were trapped in there, but she meant for them to be trapped in there, so they're in a little room. They find a a small vent hole, and Winter Soldier has his arm ripped off, and so Clint tells him, "We'll fit you in there because you don't have your scary massive arm, and you're naturally kind of greasy." So they push him in the vent, and they get to where Natasha is. She has fooled her Russian handlers, thinking that she has killed the Winter Soldier and Clint, and she gives him the broken bow and Winter Soldier's arm, and so she's training these young ballerinas to be new assassins, and it's all about her wanting to take down the Red Room. So it was very good. It was very excellent with her setting up this whole thing, and then of course having Hawkeye and Winter Soldier come through and screw it all up. At the end, they explode the base, and she has notes left for them saying, "Clint, I've always been a bad person. You've always tried to make me better. I'm sorry." And then for Winter Soldier, it's, "Let's meet in our usual spot." And so, Clint's like, "So what'd your note say?" And he just burns, and Winter Soldier burns the note and says, nothing. So it was good. It was a silly buddy comedy kind of book. I know you didn't like, or you weren't collecting oh, the two guys that work at the airport doing drugs, the Fix.
Yes. Yeah.
So this makes me think of that. It's two idiots, you know, trying to get a job done with two different styles. So I would recommend picking this up for that reason. It was a good 5-issue run.
Cool. Sounds like it was fun, and it's done now, right? I mean, they're not going to do new of that, right?
What I do think it's one of those where no, it says the end, but it will continue in Natasha's next run of books, because I think she has either a one shot or something else coming up with it's Infinity Countdown Black Widow. Whether if that's a one shot, a small run, or what it is, I don't know.
Yeah, there's a lot of the Infinity tie-in stuff. So yeah. Okay. Run on. The only Marvel book I got was Ms. Marvel, issue number 29. I do literally like this cover just because it's kind of an Archie knockoff cover, right? I mean,
yeah.
You know, it's even got the one kid in the bow tie there and stuff like that. So it's I appreciate that. So Ms. Marvel's back. She was gone for like an entire story arc. Her friends all filled in for her, whatnot, which I thought was a fun story arc. We get this. She's back. She's kind of living the high life because everything's going great again. She thinks she knows her place and stuff. And this Red Dagger dude from what, Jakarta, wherever, someplace in India, I can't remember where, has been hanging out and in Jersey, and they, there's clearly been some potential chemistry between them, and we get the kiss in this issue, which the kiss is immediately interrupted by Bruno showing back up, because Bruno's been gone for months, for at least half a year of school year, and he's suddenly back, and I mean, and the two of them were, that best friends for forever, potentially could have been something, but never really was. But there's still all this kind of mixed up feelings in there. I really enjoyed the issue. I love the Uma in this book. She is having a crisis of stuff, and she rushes into the mosque to talk to him, and he's acting all like, she rushes in. What she said, she's something like, I kissed a boy and I think I'm in love with another boy. I kissed a boy in public and I think I'm in love with another boy. And the Iman's like, oh my, yelling and acting like this is like the worst thing that could ever possibly happen. And then she's like, oh my gosh, is it? And he's like, no, I don't know. I just really liked it. It's such a, I really like the character, because it could be really easy to fall into the stereotype of him being the judgmental religious person, and he's not. And I like that, that and whatnot. What do you think, Jen?
Oh, I loved it, and I especially love the part where he says, "Look, they're gonna have to call the harem police because."
Right.
Boy, or she's confused by what's going on. No, it's really fun, and I enjoyed it. I've like wavered on and off, dropping the book, and now I'm like back. I'm enjoying it a lot again, so I'm happy with that.
Yeah, it's just not one of those books that's a feel good kind of a read. I mean, there's some bad stuff happens, which, I mean, that's life, right? But I like a lot of her exploration into whatever's going on and whatnot. I'm curious about this whole, how the whole Bruno thing's going to work and whatnot. Yeah, and I was like you. I've kind of waxed and waned on the book as far as being excited about it and not being as excited about it. I mean, I know there's aspects of it that clearly are not written for me. I mean, that's cool. It's still a really good book, and I still enjoy large portions of it. And it's not one of those ones where it's a teen superhero and it feels right the way she is going about exploring the world around her, and what it means to be a superhero, and these adults that she's looked up to, that she's now working next to, and all those aspects and whatnot. I really like all that stuff. So yeah.
cute, and I mean, I like the moment where she becomes an auntie and she's all excited about that. You know, it's an adorable book. I like it.
Mm-hmm. For sure. For sure.
I will be right back.
Okay. That's it, Mike. You don't got any other Marvel books, right?
That is correct.
So, let's talk about this. Mike tweeted me this thing and said, "So are we going to spend 2.5 hours going over the new Marvel stuff that's coming out and whatnot?" And I told him I had to dig mine out of the garbage can because I had actually, this comes as a free ad thing with my comics, and I had thrown it away, and I don't think I cracked it open very far because first and foremost, I'm not an Ed McGuinness fan, and that's who this is, right, on the cover. I don't like this art. I don't, it's not me. Anyway, so we're not going to spend 2.5 hours talking about this because...
No. I guess what I basically was going to say was that I was surprised. There were things in here that tempted me. As you know, my biggest hatred and hatred's probably a severe word, but I really am upset that Marvel has such cruddy paper stock for its covers. And that's the one...
This ad has better paper stock than the comics do.
Yes, it does. And so it's killing me because I do see things like when I saw Captain America with Leanne Francis Yu, whose artwork I really enjoyed since like Superior, and I do like a good Captain America comic.
Yep, I'm getting this. I am trying this out. I have to admit I'm trying it out more for the fact that Coates is writing it, and I'm just curious to see what he's going to explore.
And I was tempted. I like Scourge as a bad guy, especially for Cap, you know, because it's kind of the bastardization of Captain America.
100%. He's a super soldier.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep. And so I see that, you know, and it's tempting. But the thing is because I know that it's, you know, this is a big book, but it doesn't have somebody who is a Marvel only or somebody who I know is going to stay on more than one arc. So I guess that's the thing. I look at a lot of these Marvel books and I'm like, wait for the trade. They'll make 5 issues, 6 issues. There will be a trade and you can get it at a discount sometime, somewhere. So
sure.
Nothing Marvel's doing right now, or very little, makes me want to run out and get issue to issue, except for, as I flip through, of course, Thor with Mike Del Mundo showing that monster truck picture of a cover.
Yes.
And knowing that it's bouncing between Del Mundo and I don't remember who the other one was.
Dodderman, wasn't it?
Yes, Dodderman or and one issue will be done by Donny Cates's guy too.
Wanda? No, not.
No, the one that does the Thanos right now.
Oh, okay.
So he's got at least one issue because he mentioned that. So I was really tempted. Of course, as we flip in here, you know, we do see some of that sweet Del Mundo art that reminds me so much of the I have to look back at the Del Mundo Weird World book that we enjoyed. You know, seeing him smash Molinar against the unstoppable Juggernaut as his first enemy, I thought that is tempting. I guess I will, you know, buy that so long as I'm not getting jerked the first issue for an additional $1. But even then, I say it, I'm still probably buying it.
Don't hold your breath on that. Because I was gonna say, I would say that, there's the Thor cover he was talking about, the one with the monster truck on it and whatnot, which screams Weird World and whatnot. So, yeah, and there he is smashing the Juggernaut with his hammer, and it just obliterating the hammer. So, yeah.
Ryan Stegman's Venom kind of interested me. I know they said it was going to be kind of a horror-ish kind of thing. And the artwork looked really interesting, but the jumping all the way back in the past, this being some kind of nightmare, I'm not sure what I would do about that. You know, it's semi-tempting, I guess is the best way of saying it.
Yeah. If anybody else just about was writing Amazing Spider-Man, I would jump on it because I think Ryan Ottley, you know, who's done so much Invincible work in the past, he's going to do a stellar Spider-Man. I mean, he just has just classic, you know, superhero look to the stuff. I mean, just that's big giant splash page of villains and Spider-Man just makes it look. But Nick Spencer, I'm not interested in reading Nick Spencer.
Yeah.
So, yeah. There's not much in here for the Hulk. I am getting that. I'm really actually decided I'm not going to look at it because I don't know. I wasn't excited by the chunk of black and white art I saw in here for the Hulk. Yeah. But I am going to get it because I am going to get the Hulk because I'm curious about it being a horror comic. I think that's an interesting take on on the character.
They say that, but I really think that's going to be disappointing to some people. I really can't imagine a horror aspect to it.
Yeah, well, I don't know. I mean, so the back here, horror has a name. You'd never notice the man. He doesn't like to be noticed. He's quiet, calm, never complains. Why? You can walk up to him and shoot him in the head, ... And all he'll do is die until night falls. The name is Banner, and the horror is the Immortal Hulk. I don't know. That's a horrible pitch. But
yeah, that's
but I like Al Ewing, and I want to see what he's going to do.
All right.
And Alex Ross is doing covers for that too. Melting Your Hands cover.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, right. I'm gonna get the Hulk book, and I'm gonna try out the Venom book too.
Yeah, I'm gonna try Fantastic Four. Except I saw a variant cover for it that I absolutely did not like. Well, there's aspects that I liked. It's got an old Reed Richards. He's got a great beard. So I'm all down for that. But they gave him a nose. You know what I mean? An actual nose. So he looks like a big orange guy. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. I meant to dig that picture up so I could show it off because it kind of freaked me out. Because I mean the Hulk.
Yeah.
The thing has a big squared off nose, right?
Yeah.
Not. I mean, he's got a bulbous. I'm probably gonna pick up Black Panther too, just because I really like Daniel Acuna's art a lot. So I don't know about an intergalactic Black Panther though. I don't know.
The Multiple Man, what I've seen from the artwork and like how the story's playing around, that just seems almost weird enough to want to do. But
yeah,
I'd want to get it cheaper. Yeah,
I love the cover, but I don't know that I'm on board for it. I did not actually. I think it was part of the order for, and I don't think I ordered it. I think I decided not to get it, but I do love the cover. Yeah, and Sentry, I'm not getting Sentry because I don't know. I have a hard time swallowing Jeff Lemire's superhero work that isn't his own personal work as opposed to work for hire. Love Black Hammer. I'm not really feeling the Terrifics. There's a lot of other superhero work that he's done that I haven't felt either. So,
but I wonder because the only thing that tempted me, one, it looks like the Sentry may have a beard, and I like him with a beard. And I know Lemire keeps wanting to play around with a Superman character. And what he did with his Black Hammer DC stuff, the alternates on that, it really makes me wonder what he could do with a Sentry Superman-like character.
Yeah. There's nothing here that tells us anything really about it. Does his return truly make Earth a safer place, or will his dark side reappear and plunge the world into the void?
Yeah. So I guess I have mainly my big selling thing is to say I'm tempted. I'm sure Marvel will piss me off very quickly, and anything that I do like will end within one trade.
Yeah, there you go. So this is going back in the round file. There you go.
Yeah. Yeah.
Anyway, so we'll see. Any other Marvel-ish kind of news?
Was it 3 weeks until Avengers?
2.
All right. It's same week as Free Comic Book Day?
Because, right, it's the last week of this month, right?
All right. Sounds right, yeah.
So, like, next weekend.
All right.
I think. Yeah, I don't know. I'm excited for it and not at the same time.
All right. I will be excited to hear everybody talk about it. I'm sure I will miss it because of my daughter. So.
Damn darn kids. Gosh.
Yeah.
Alrighty. If no other news, let's move on to the independent books. Reds, what do you want to talk about? Seems like you've been quiet this whole time.
Okay. I guess my favorite book this week was I'm stuck between two books, to be honest. Black Hammer and Evolution.
Mm. So
Yeah.
what do you want to talk about? Which one? Which one first?
I'm leaning more towards Black Hammer. I guess because that one, yeah, Black Hammer.
Yes.
That was kind of crazy because I mean, like they're essentially stuck in hell. It's crazy. It's crazy.
Well, right. Because she's like, I know how to get us out of here. I know where we are. And then Zot, she's zotted away, and she's
crack. Stuck in hell.
Right. So, just out of curiosity, did you notice when it makes that sound effect, that zrak or whatever it is sound, and she disappears? Do you notice that sound effect happens a little bit later on, and somebody else disappears?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yep.
So I'm still torn because what's his name? Strange, Weird. What's his name? Colonel Weird.
Colonel Weird.
Yeah.
Is that so? He's like squawking because this is, she disappears, makes that sound effect. The new Black Hammer, I love the way she looks, by the way. Zaps away, right? And then he's mumbling about the fact that this isn't right. It's not. I mean, like, this isn't supposed to happen this way or whatever. And then he disappears with the same sound effect.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you guys have been reading this as long as I have. Clearly, there seems to be, from just a mysterious standpoint, from the mystery standpoint of it, is Weird messing with them? Clearly, he is to some degree, or is it what's her name, Madam Dragonfly, or whatever the heck her name is?
It can't be her. It has
or
to
is
be,
it both of them?
It can't be her. Like, obviously, she has no idea what's going on.
Why?
I personally feel like this is something else. This is higher. This is someone else.
So this is more than just her eliminating that sheriff, because that sheriff was starting to tip the apple cart.
Okay, from what I'm gathering, okay, we thought it was her. We knew she had something to do with this town existing and them not knowing, right? We knew that was like the big reveal.
Right.
Okay. And we were like, she had something to do with them being put into this town, and we knew that Abraham knew that he was okay with them existing in this town, and everyone being in a place in this idyllic town, and and not being moved further from there. And that was fine and dandy. Now we know that and then when Lucy came and uprooted everything, and she was like, hey, this is not right. This town's not this little town is not what everything seems. You guys need to get out of here. We need to get back to where we came from. And then she found out that her dad that he really died, and that that the town really doesn't have history and stuff like that. She's trying to uproot everybody and trying to get everything back to normal. Then now that she's disappeared, I mean, now things are starting to kind of shift and stuff. Was it walkie-talkie is dead? I mean, things are starting to kind of just really, really come to like a screaming halt. I mean, I think there's more at play here. I think it's more than just Madam Fly. I think it's more than just her. I think it may be someone more powerful than we may know. I think it's some kind of demigod, some god or something, something cosmic behind the scenes that put this world together. I mean, look, there's right now, like Lucy is stuck in this dimension with a devil of some sort right now. So come on now. I mean,
it can't be hell. It can't be hell. The Ramones are playing there. It can't be hell. Hell would not have the Ramones playing.
It's a hell-like dimension though. So I'm saying there is like a like I said, cosmic god. So a devil dimension. So I'm saying there's something at play here. This town is not really a town. There's something else that's happening. That town is really a dimension that resembles a town. These are weirdos here.
Yeah, I love them though. They're awesome looking.
There's nothing is as it seems. I think that Lucy, that's what Lucy's trying to explain to them. And I think the fact that Madame Fly, whatever her name is, I think she knows a little bit about what's going on, but not enough to really explain to them. I think Colonel Weird, he knows a lot. I think, he controls a little bit about the folds, but I think it all started turning him crazy. And I think, once Lucy came into play, I think that kind of, I think I turned him around on his head a little bit, and when that kind of made him go, whoa, she messed up a little bit, and now I don't know what to do. Let me go back into Parazone, and then he disappeared, and so we don't know where he's at. I think Jeff Lemire is a brilliant writer, and so we're going to see some more good stuff come ahead, and I'm excited. Now, one thing I'm a little nervous about is that maybe towards issue 12, because like last time was at issue 6 was when it started getting kind of a little rocky. So I think maybe around issue 12, we're going to see a little rockiness kind of, happen. But, yeah, I think we're going to have a first few issues of goodness. And then we're going to see, some little rockiness happen. And then we're going to see some goodness play out. And then breaks. And then, Yeah. And then maybe hope then a bad spinoff.
They're not all bad.
I like the current one. Yeah. So what do you think, Jen?
I'm not sure. I think that I'm kind of coming down on Russ's side of things, that there's something else going on outside of their control, and maybe the weird guy has been trying to figure it out and study it, and it's kind of caused him to go crazy because of that. But I'm not sure. I have to wait and see. I mean, the fact that there's this other dimension there and everything going on seems like maybe somebody is screwed with them. So I'm excited to find out.
Yeah, same here.
More, love the art, So
yes,
I'm down for it.
Dean
Forever.
Ormiston is an excellent artist. Yes. Yeah. I loved it. I'm happy it's back and whatnot.
Yeah.
Missed it while it was gone. And I love that panel. That look on her face as she's looking around.
That's perfect.
Yeah. And she's an awesome looking Black Hammer. Because I was all excited. The last arc ended with her, getting the hammer. You're like, oh, this is gonna be cool. And then she's here and she's all, flying there. She looks awesome with this hammer, and she's like, oh, I know what it is. And then she's gone. It's like, oh man. Yeah, good stuff. Good stuff. And what was the other book, Riz?
Evolution.
That
book is good. It's good.
Yeah. So the end of what they call this, the end of the first arc, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I'm gonna tell you one thing. We finally picked up on one particular story arc that I was getting kind of snoozy on. Finally, I was like, finally, goodness gracious! I'm like, damn.
Our ladies, we get a twist there. It's not so much about the fact that she's kind of taking this secret money that's got her girlfriend upset and whatnot, because clearly there's that tension there. It's there, And I love the fact they have the set down, and the one that's not taking the money is like, look, you don't think I'm dumb, right? And she's like, oh, no, I don't think you're dumb. And she's like, okay, then what's going on with this guy? And, of course, the girl starts to act stupid. And she's like, didn't you just say I wasn't dumb? So why are you treating me like that? I don't know. I just loved it.
Yeah, but then we find out why that guy was so keen on giving her money, because guess what? He affected her.
Yeah. Probably.
Now we know why. Yeah, no, probably he did. He straight up gave her something. He knew he was watching her from afar. Come on now. We know this guy.
How do you know? How do you know that's the case?
Oh no. What?
I think you're putting a lot in between the panels. I'm just saying.
I have to do it. I have to do it. I have to do it. Listen, you know what? Because I'm gonna tell you what. I'm putting it out there.
Yeah, I know you don't like the dude. I know you don't like the dude. He's a creeper.
Yes, he's a creeper. But you know what? I'm just put it out there, and we're gonna put it out in the world. And so next issue, we're gonna find out that it's on purpose. And we're gonna find out. because this dude totally did it on purpose. He gave it to her. Why was he giving her all this money? He was giving her this money and watching her from afar. He was like, okay, this dude was so.
No, he was watching the girl that her parents were part of the whole film stuff, but his girlfriend's the one that's infected.
Yeah, I know. Okay, the whole parent thing. I'm still not sold on the whole parent thing. I feel like the attachment. I feel like this whole parent thing was not strong enough. I feel like the bond to her, the whole parent thing was not just the only bond that he had. Yeah, I just feel like that whole parental bond. He wanted more bond with her, and I feel like he wanted a stronger bond with her, and he was like, you know what? How can I get that bond with her? Let me go ahead and infect the girlfriend.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean,
actually, the part in this book that really blew my mind
was when
is the doctors. The doctor. So Abe is his name. Abe. I want to say it's Abe.
Isaac.
Yeah, Isaac. So he introduces this, the whole idea of the monster and the evolution and all this stuff to this other doctor, and he's like, you're the only other clean one. See, the guy is crazy. He's not wrong, but he's crazy because
the end.
Yeah, the harvest. You know whose heart that is. He needed a heart that wasn't contaminated.
I was gonna totally ask you about that. I was like,
yes.
Did he not?
Oh yes.
Okay.
Oh yes.
Okay. I was going crazy. I was like, no, he did not just.
Which is hilarious because he's thinking that everybody's infected and there's almost nobody that isn't infected. And what does he do? He turns around and kills one of the few people that isn't infected.
That's why I was stuck between this issue and that issue. That's why I was like, I didn't know whether I should talk about this issue, because I was like, because when she was like doctor, and I was like, oh no, he did not. Did he not? Oh my Lord.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
I knew.
Has her at gunpoint, and the next time we see him driving off, putting in the trunk of his car this cooler with a heart in it, and he's talking about it's the only, he needs this organ to be able to create, a pure specimen that he can then turn around and use to help to fight the stuff. But somebody has survived. Somebody has survived this contagion. Our nun, who, of course, last issue we saw her like taking a pair of scissors and snipping off tentacles hanging off of her shoulder.
Yep.
She's no longer infected.
Or is she?
Well, okay, so it's hiding now. Is that what you're saying?
It did that guy that he shot clearly in the waiting room.
Yeah, I guess you're right. It continues to be awesome. The art continues to be just really, really good stuff. The coloring, Boyd's coloring between scenes and emotions is stellar stuff.
That doctor was crazy for going with him in the first place. To me, if you see somebody clearly shoot somebody, why would you go with them? I wouldn't.
Because she is a doctor and she's a person of science, and clearly she wants to understand.
I'm sorry, but if someone, I see a man that just turned into a full blown bug. So, I'd be like, okay, it's cool and all. I'd be like, that's cool and all, but I'm gonna go this way and you go that way. I'm not going with.
Well, obviously, Rez, she hasn't read as many horror stories as you have to be educated.
Yeah, I'd just be like, look, I'm sorry, Dr. Isaac. I'm fully aware. However, I'm gonna have to just notify the authorities, and I'm gonna have to let you go to your creepy room.
No, but he's telling you that everybody's infected. You can't call the authorities.
I understand this, sir, but I understand this, sir. However, this is not proper procedure.
I'm still seriously taking the book, and I'm still completely blown away the fact that there are 4 writers on this book, and you would never know. You would never know that it has 4 different writers on the book.
Seamless, so seamless. I love this book. Yeah. Like, it's always my favorite book whenever it comes out. Like, seriously, I mean, let's say we had Saga, Paper Girls, all these books. I would read it first. It was just like one of my favorite books. I'll say that. I'll say it.
I don't know. That's awful tough.
Okay, you know what? I will read Saga first.
Yeah.
I will read Saga first. But I love this book. I love this book.
Yes, so do I. So do I, and I don't think enough people are reading it. I mean, that's where my take on it. Where everybody's reading Saga, So
I love Joe Keating. I just love this guy.
Yeah, good stuff. Alrighty, what else do we want to talk about, Mike? You there?
Yeah, I got Deathbed.
Let's see if I can dig out my issue of Deathbed. Let's see. Deathbed.
Yeah, definitely the most penis-laden one.
Okay. So let's get this out of the way. This book only exists so Riley Rosmos can draw naked people,
yes.
right?
Yes. It was a very interesting take on cults, where our main character started one and then realized that he got tired and wanted to just leave it. And they continued on, and they figured the only way to truly embrace him at the end would be to eat him. So they find him.
Yep.
Yeah, so they find him and they decide to consume him and his writer.
She's the appetizer.
Yes. Yeah. It's not until they're looking at him and they realize that their clothing is made of nipples and penises and
yes,
and faces and everything that they decide that they're cannibals.
Yes, that I did appreciate that whole rundown of realization that wait a second. Yes. And I do appreciate the writers, her getting fed up, her just reaching a point of, I am through with this. I'm through with you. I'm through with your shenanigans. I'm getting out of here. I'm not dying here with you. I'm not going to be eaten. This is not okay. I'm just done. So.
Oh yeah.
The book is fun. I don't know how much story is really here, though, to be quite honest. Like I said, to me, it feels like it's just an absurd thing. So Rosmo can just draw whatever, randomness he wants to. I don't know. And at the end, the poor Yurik, I knew him so well, but he can't remember. I mean, that's the one story element of this is that his memory is slipping.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think, Jen?
I think for me, it's just a fun, quick read. You know what I mean? I enjoy it, and the art's cool. It's not anything too deep for me, so yeah, I like the book, and I'm just going to have fun with it while it's here. It's like 6 issues or something, right? Yes, 6 issues.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but that's what it is for me. I enjoy the Rosmo art. It's a fun romp. It is not deep in any way, shape, or form. Kind of thing. I don't put it down and ponder it afterwards. So,
yep.
Yeah. But yeah, it really does feel like an excuse just to let Rosmo just kind of do whatever. Well, me and Jen sat on a Vertigo panel, and Williamson, the writer, was there, and he was talking about the fact that that they learned to not tell Rosmo he couldn't do something, because if they told him he couldn't do it, then he just worked twice as hard to try and fit it in, kind of stuff. They just let him draw whatever and then try to figure out how to work around whatever it was that because clearly he had fun with the clothing. Which I won't show here on screen, but yeah, kind of out of control as far as that goes, for sure. Alrighty, what else do we want to talk about? I still have a whole pile of stuff. Jen, what do you want to talk about?
I have to be right back.
Okay, I'm going to talk Lazarus because I have issues of Lazarus. I absolutely love this book. This is issue. What's that?
I thought they were still on.
Nope. Finally back. Issue 27. So this issue goes back in time and tells what happened to the brother, Jonah, who Forever was supposed to kill off, and instead she threw him in the environmental suit and threw him in the ocean. Well, he gets found. He's not dead. They find him. Yeah.
Yeah.
So these Dutch. No, they're Danes. They're Danish. Fishermen find him. They rescue him. They nurture him back and whatnot. Great story. The art in it, clearly Lark being on vacation for as long as he was to rejuvenate, was really done well, because the art is so top notch and whatnot. Super enjoy the story. Like I said, I love Lazarus. I love everything about it. I have a problem going forward, though. Next issue comes out next month, and then the next issue will not come out until September. I mean, they just came back off of a break, like Rez was saying. Wait, I thought they were still on break. They just came back from a break, and they're going to go to a quarterly book. So it's going to be a quarterly book. And I thought initially, okay, well, you know, it's going to be like Headlopper. That's fine. I'm going to get this massive book all at once. I'll get it 4 times a year. Okay, I'm okay with that. Except for it being a quarterly book, it will be 66 pages. 44 of the pages are going to be comic book. And then the other 22 pages are going to be prose, short stories, you know, more stuff about the world and that sort of stuff. So I don't know what the price point is. But it better be nice, because otherwise it upsets me. Because if I'm paying for the equivalent, this was 24 pages. Let's say it's 22 pages normally. If I'm waiting 3 months to get 2 comic books worth of stuff, and I'm going to pay 3 comic books worth in price for it, I'm going to be bummed out. I like that back matter, but I like it in small doses, and I rather learn about the world and all the stuff that's in it in the comic book as opposed to the stuff that's in the back. Now, I read all the stuff that's in the back, but I don't want to read 22 pages at a shot of what's in the back. I'm reading comics because I love comics. I love sequential art and whatnot. I don't want you know, I don't want 22 pages of this. I don't. Or this. I mean, I love this kind of this ad. I mean, this is you know, the Bitmans part, one of the families, their code and stuff like that. I mean, I dig this, that they go to this level to immerse me in the environment that is Lazarus. But I just don't like that setup. It bothers me. I don't know. I mean, I'm going to keep getting it. Don't get me wrong. But as of right now, just reading about it in the back matter here. And I really hope that it's not square bound. I hope it's stapled. I hope it's just a big fat thing. Because I think Headlopper is just a super fat comic. Because I want to be able to lay it open. But I don't know. Not sure what I think about that, moving to that format. So I got one more issue, and then we'll see what it's like. I need to go and look at Greg Rucka's feed and see if he's talked about it anymore there or whatnot, because it moving to that quarterly book, if I'm only getting 44 pages for, you know, 3 comics books worth of price tag, I'm actually, I feel like I'm getting shorted, because I'm not here for the prose. If I want to read his prose, I'll buy his novels. I want to read the comic. So I don't know. So what else do I want to talk about? Well, I'm going to take the space to talk about a comic book. I know I'm the only person that picked it up, and everybody else should have picked it up. Wasted Space. This is by Vault Comics. This is the first Vault comic I picked up. I've been kind of thinking about paying attention to them because I know they've been starting to put out more stuff and whatnot. I picked this up because I follow Morsi, the writer. I follow him on Twitter. He wrote Rocher Limit. I liked the first. It was written in like 3 trades. I liked the first one a lot. The others were okay, but I really liked the first one a lot. It waxed a lot of philosophy along with the action and the stuff that was going on in the book. This one kind of does the same thing. It starts out with this guy kind of just loftily floating in space, you know, talking about, you know, how he likes to have his downtime. He likes hanging out in the middle of the cold emptiness that is space, because it gives him some time to kind of keep, you know, himself and think for himself and that sort of stuff. He waxes a little bit about his kind of philosophy on life, that, you know, and the galaxy and the existence of everything, and then basically the universe is fucked. he did something. He hears the voice of God, he thinks. And while he was hearing the voice of God, he made some choices and told some people to do some stuff, and it basically just screwed the entire universe. And so now he's just trying to hide. He's got a secret identity. He's trying to hide and mind his own business and ride out the rest of his life because everything's screwed up and whatever. While he's waxing this philosophy and telling us kind of how the world's screwed up, the creator actually shows up and starts talking to him while he's floating in space. And the creator looks like a robot. He just looks like this little robot guy. He starts chatting him up, listen to the voice of God and reason and all will be well and whatnot. And he's like, oh, pull me in. He has his best friend who, funnily, in my video talking about this book, I said the robot was a Pew bot. It's actually a fuck bot. F-U-Q. It's a fuck. Yeah. I mean, because in this first issue, he's blue. He earns the money for them, so they can like take drugs and drink and just live the high life until the end of the universe or whatever. So he has clients, and that's how he gets his money and whatnot. Well, the funny thing is that they end up, everybody's out to kill him if they figure out who he is. Bounty hunters find him on this planet. They go after him. The fuck bot is also a kill bot, a Q-U, or is it Q-I-L? Anyway, kill bot. So it has a programming to be a kill bot, and they battle and whatnot. But there's a new religious guy that's kind of spouting the real, this is what's going to save us all. And he has a daughter, and this daughter makes gives these great visions. And so he's selling his goods, basically, peddling his religion. Everybody needs to meet his daughter. Well, his daughter has run away, you find out. And the daughter has, whereas our main character hears the creator, she sees the creator, and the creator sees through her eyes. Well, she has been given basically a vision herself that she's supposed to go find the guy that hears the creator. And so she's shown up telling this guy that he's a disciple, or she's his disciple. And he's like, no, I gave that up. I'm not doing that. Even if the creator is talking to me, I'm not listening to him anymore. It's just all crazy. It's all nonsense. And I want nothing to do with it, kind of a thing. And that's kind of where the book ends at. But these bounty hunter dudes, show up to off him, and he's trying to talk his way out of it. And I just really love the art. I love this kind of sketchy kind of looking inking that's done and whatnot. Very suggestive. Meets all my needs, the great coloring of it and stuff. But so it ends with basically her telling him that they have to save the universe because this great leader kind of guy is actually going to be the one that actually ends the universe, and they need to do something to stop that and fix that. And this guy is the guy that's just trying to ignore things. Just like, oh, I really don't want to deal with this. And meanwhile, there's some mystic stuff going on too. There's this whole other cult that's potentially behind the whole thing. These weird guys that are going to talk to the Omega, and he already knows about the stuff. But I really dug it. I love the waxing philosophy, and I talking about it here am not describing it nearly as good as what the book actually, really is. It's described as being Philip K. Dick mixed with Preacher. That's a pretty decent look at it, because they do kind of tongue in cheek and kind of look at religion a little on the on the different side kind of a thing. And then it has the whole Philip K. Dick, is this reality? Is this not reality? Set in a near, in a, kind of an odd future where humanity is taking things to such an extreme that it's to the point of depressing. So it has a lot of those kind of elements in it that are, pretty cool and whatnot. So.
That was a little too much for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I know some people that are getting it and they love it because of the craziness too, but boy, that is just a lot for me to try and take in. So. Right.
And I will admit, it is my kind of book, because like I said, the whole beginning of it, where he's just kind of floating in space, kind of going through this is how the universe works, and all this stuff, and this is what I did, and I kind of I kind of messed it all up. We don't know how he messed it up, but he messed it up somehow. So yeah. Anyway,
All right.
I liked it. Alrighty, what else? What else do I talk about? Jen, what do you want to talk about?
Not anything else that I've read. So
Okay. I just want to throw out there that Punk's Not Dead. I love this book. Continues to be awesome. Culpepper, the older lady investigator that works for their weird branch of the MI5 she's just a wonderful, cranky, stick your nose where it doesn't belong, kind of rude, a little crass, and not necessarily politically correct. And she's just kind of lots of fun. Yeah, it's just a great book with great art in it, and the supernatural part of it is getting bigger and bigger in it. And I really, really dig it. So let's see. I picked up some other number ones, and I want to talk about the number ones a little bit. Skyward. I was all excited for this, for the art, the Garbett art. There isn't a lot to get a hold of in this book. The concept basically is one day suddenly gravity does not work anymore. It's like instead of having, like, if, I don't know, the gravity of the Earth is described as 1, now the gravity of the Earth is 0.01. I mean, you don't completely float away, but if you jump up, if you don't do something to make yourself go back down, you will not go back down. You'll just fly away. And there's this guy, he's got an infant, his wife goes out to jog, gravity disappears, wife gets bumped off and disappears into oblivion. Move ahead 20 years, the baby now is a young woman, and she's a courier, and they just kind of float around, moving stuff around and whatnot. And dad is still struggling with the whole gravity thing, and he thinks he can fix it, but there's not a lot. I don't know. It hops around, and she gets attacked by some thieves. They're trying to take her stuff, prove some more gravity type things that I don't know. This wasn't a very gripping issue as far as story or plot goes. So I was kind of bummed about that, but I do, like I said, I do dig the art. I always like this guy's his style of work and whatnot. So, but was that?
I like the art a lot.
Yeah, I mean, he did Loki. He did Lucifer. Is the last thing he worked on was Lucifer for Vertigo. So like I said, I was excited about the art and whatnot. The art is great. The art is great, but I don't know. I'm hoping the next issue grabs me, because this one didn't. Despite liking the art, it's going to be on a short leash, because there wasn't things about it that really hooked me. So I don't know. So looking at the comments, and Ryan said that he really enjoys Punk's Not Dead too. Culpepper is totally a John Smith character. Yeah, it's like she stepped right out of one of his comics. Yeah, I agree. Definitely. Another new book I picked up was Her Infernal Descent. If you've got any of these, Jenny, you just haven't read yet, just let me know. so don't deep dive too hard. So this is basically a mother has lost her children and husband. I'm assuming in one tragic something or other. She is still living at home. She's trying to pack her house up. They do a really good job at the beginning of this book of basically just kind of building us into her life, what it might be like to have lost your entire family. She knows she wants to move on, but can't figure out how to move on. So she's just kind of slowly trapped in this, cycle of unhealthiness around her family being gone. She's slowly boxing stuff up. She wanders up into her attic to box up some stuff. And in her attic is the ghost of Woodsworth. He waxes some poetry at her. She's like, I'm not having this. I don't got time for ghosts right now. Go away. I mean, it's just kind of funny how she responds to it. She's just so tired. It's just like, instead of like, oh my God, it's a ghost, or oh my God, it's Woodsworth. She's just kind of like, whatever. He kind of talks her into, he convinces her that if she goes with him, that they can go to this place, basically go to hell, and drag them back out of hell and get her family back. And she's like, well, my family wouldn't be in hell. They were wonderful. And he's like, trust me, everybody ends up in this place in some fashion or another. This is where we need to go. And so she starts a journey through basically Dante's Inferno, the 9 planes. She gets to the first one, runs into a bunch of people. She runs into like Jimi Hendrix and a bunch of other people that are kind of floating around in limbo. Has some interesting conversations with them. Insults all the Greek philosophers. I mean, Plato and Socrates are there, and they're asking, they're like all pompous. Are my works still being talked about or whatever? And she's like, yeah, whatever. I don't have any interest in what you got to say, because she's interested in finding her family. It's not that she really intends to be insulting. She just doesn't care about them. And they get pretty beefed about the fact that she doesn't care about them, and she gets herself into some trouble, and kind of that's the thing. William Blake, that's what it was. I'm sorry. My problem. Not Wordsworth. It's Blake. So it was cool. It's got lots of fun literary references in it, some that kind of stuff in it that I enjoy. I like Dante's Inferno in and of itself, that piece of literary work. So stuff that plays with that, I'm always kind of on board with. So I do dig that. So she's riding across the river Styx there. So I, for first issue, I enjoyed it. But like I said, it speaks to the stuff I'm interested in anyway. So I don't know that it's something that I can go, oh my gosh, we should go out and pick this up because it's awesome. Whereas Ways to Space, I think it's awesome. Everybody should read it, unless you're Mike and it's clearly not your bag. So
I don't have enough room in the dome for that kind of knowledge.
Right. I hear you. End of the Arc of Rubble. I don't know if I'm going to keep getting this. It's got a big break. It's not coming back until like August. This issue was better than some of them have been. I don't know. I'm still struggling with the art change. And it's not that I don't like this artist. It just doesn't feel like the same book. And whereas that first stuff wandered in a way that I could accept, now it's wandering in a way that I'm not feeling. So, I don't know. Yeah. So, and yeah, I think that's it for me. Don't know if there's any indie type news that I can think of. I mean, about every comic book that you can name right now that's independent has been picked up by a TV show or a movie or something somewhere. I hear, Deadly Class was completely greenlit. Sci-Fi has seen the pilot and picked up an entire season. So that's not we could see it. That is we are going to see it, kind of a thing. Amazon picked up East of West and Transhuman. 2 Hickman books are now supposedly in the works. I don't know a whole lot about Transhuman. I love East of West, a long-running kind of weird post-apocalyptic cowboy. I'll watch that show. That's, if that ever makes it, kind of a thing. But it seems like a lot of stuff is being announced, is being picked up somewhere or whatnot. Which you've had plenty of conversations about that in the past, about how that makes me nervous. Am I going to continue to see my comic, or is it's got a TV deal or a movie deal, the kiss of death, and the book suddenly disappears? I don't know. So.
Yeah, I hope that's not the case.
Right.
The other thing that's kind of happening to me is there are so many TV shows now that I'm
can't watch them.
Having to, yeah. Either that or I can't read books because I don't have time to do both. So yep. I've kind of had to just let the TV shows go sometimes because I enjoy the books more. So
yep. Same here. I'm actually more inclined when it comes to, because there's like, Netflix and Amazon and Hulu, they're all cranking out all this stuff, and there's all of them have good, all those streaming services have good content. I'm at the point now where I'm inclined to not watch things that are based on stuff I'm reading, because I'm reading it, and I'm always going to take the comic book over the show. I mean, all the time. Whereas, so I'll watch something that I don't know at all over watching something that's replaying something that I've read. I mean, I've got 2 years worth of Walking Dead, I think, socked up now. I don't need to, I don't need both, kind of a thing. And I have gone back to secretly reading Walking Dead, but in trade, but I'm still not super excited by it, but I do like the comic better than the show. So I don't know. It's one of those things where I'm like you. If I'm reading comics, it means I'm not watching the shows. So if I'm watching the shows, it means I'm not reading comics, and I'm going to take comics over TV anytime. So unless I'm watching it with my family, and then that becomes a whole different can of worms because
Right.
it is my family all in the same place at the same time to watch it. So yeah. Alrighty. Well, is that it for the night then?
Thank you guys for having me back on the show.
Anytime. Happy to have you on. Always great to have some other voices to talk about books and whatnot. So very cool. Very cool. Plus the fact we're going to lose Mike in like what? Another week?
Yeah. I got to serve the rest of my term. So
we'll lose Mike for a quarter. See, I don't like that quarterly stuff. We'll lose Mike for a quarter. So always happy to have somebody else to fill in the gaps. So any rate, been a great night. Thanks for talking books with us. Thank you for everybody who was in the comments talking and whatnot. Always appreciated. I'll go back over some of those because now they pop up in the video feed for YouTube. So I mean, it's only taken them 5 years to do it, but it's awesome. And we can look back and see what people said and whatnot. So always appreciate it. And everybody who watches this after the fact, that's great too. Always appreciate it too. And until next week, everybody have a great one.